What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So I've been talking a lot about liquidation arbitrage lately. I talk about a lot of different arbitrage techniques on this channel, but one of the things that I've been preaching lately that's a gold mine is liquidation arbitrage. So I figured I'd show you a little bit of the back end of the business today, some things that I've sold in one of the pallets that I bought recently, how easy it is to buy them, then obviously relist them, how easy the companies make it for you, and the potential profit margins that are involved. So let's break it all down for you. Now, one of the things you'll notice that when you buy a lot, you can actually download an Excel file, literally an entire spreadsheet of everything that came in your lot. So it's very, very easy to understand, okay, this is what I can list, this is what it usually sells for. This is the exact product, and it's easy to find. So let me show you examples of what I mean. You can literally download, like I said, that Excel file, and then open it back up and relist some things. So for example, if I were gonna list this first one, I would just take the ASIN. I could obviously list this back on eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark as well, which I do from time to time, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But I could also see if I can list this on Amazon. And keep in mind too, before I usually buy any pallets or any lots like this, I usually check a good number of products to make sure that my margins are there, make sure that I can sell some products, because you can always usually see most of the time what you're getting ahead of time. So I'm going to take this into Seller Central and check the product. Can I sell this product? Listing limitations apply, and you'll see, okay, I can sell this new collectible and used conditions. Now, one of the things that I do want to talk about is, because I actually remember listing this product, and we're going to talk about here in a second, how many of these pallet products that I've actually listed, how many I've sold, and for what profit margins. But I do remember, and this goes for anybody getting into liquidation arbitrage in general, if you're not able to sell certain items, then you can do two things. You can either sell them back on another platform, like your eBay, your Mercari, and Poshmark. Actually works very, very well. And obviously, you can take the product listing and all the product details and everything, and basically just morph that listing over to a different platform. Super easy. Or you can also request approval, because if you have the invoice from a legitimate manufacturer, 9 times out of 10 you can get approved on Amazon for that. Now, sometimes there are certain stipulations. You might need authorization from the brand owner, but most of the time, if you have the legitimate invoice, you can get accepted. Now, often too, you might need, not all the time, but you might need multiple quantities of a certain item from the manufacturer, but that's a rare occurrence. It doesn't always happen. So what actually happened is I was not able to sell this. I've already listed this, obviously, but I wasn't able to sell this initially. I was only able to sell it in collectible and used. So what I did is I simply requested approval, gave them the invoice, and boom, now I'm able to list it as new. Now it's listed as new, and it should probably sell within the next, I don't know, 3 to 4 days, maybe even 1 to 2. So that's how easy it is. Then obviously I'd list it, and we'd see here, okay, it's ranked 2,000 in its category. There's 11 new offers. So roughly speaking, maybe I'd list this at like 29. Maybe I'd list this at like 32, because whoever has the buy box currently is offering shipping and $29.95. So I could, if I ship it into Prime, ship it into FBA, I could list it slightly higher and get the buy box. So that's just something to keep in mind. Let's go through another example. Now, you'll notice also when you get liquidation pallets is they come in a bunch of boxes, and they're all kind of just thrown in the boxes very, very neatly and packed well, obviously, but it's really, really difficult to, kind of go through everything and list it. But with the Excel spreadsheet, it makes it super, super simple. So I wrote down 2 things that I'm about to list right here for you guys. And basically, if I were to pull something out of a box, okay, I pulled something out of the box, I'm looking at it and it says thermos, and it's like a thermos travel mug. So what would I do then? Do I have to go through and search through the entire spreadsheet? No. What I do is I just go Control F, and I would search for, thermos. And okay, thermos Star Wars episode, that's not it. So let's find the next one. Thermos stainless steel travel mug. Here it is. Boom. So what am I going to do? It literally shows you everything that you did. So I purchased this. It looks like from the liquidation pallet. This was marked at $168 on my pallet. It's 96% off retail. It retails for $21.25 on Amazon, and they're saying that has an MSRP of about $42.99. That's a bit high, I don't know about that, but definitely retails roughly about $21.25 on Amazon. So what I would do is I would take the ASIN, I'm going to take it into Seller Central and add a product. And boom, there we go. We can add the product. So we can sell it as new, collectible, used conditions, list our own. Then obviously you see here it's about 15, a little bit under 16,000 in its category, so it should sell pretty quickly. Now, I'm not sure exactly what that would sell for. If we click sell ours, Looks like this is roughly, so I could ship this into FBA and list it at about maybe 20 bucks, maybe like 18, flip it that way, maybe make like 10 bucks on this. So that's a pretty solid one as well. Now let's go through one more before we talk about the actual margins that I made, how many of the actual pallet that I'm talking about here specifically that I've sold, and that you can obviously replicate that process. So I'm pulling out something out of the box and it's like a sprout garden. So what I would type in? I would type in garden maybe, or I might type in sprout. Handy pantry sprout garden. Here we go. So it looks like I bought this in the pallet for one of the units for $191. Sometimes there'll be a 2 here. Like you'll see here, I got the Anchor stainless steel flask, 2 of those, and I actually sold these on Mercari, both of these as well, which is something we'll talk about here in a second. Then what I would do, I'd take the ASIN, take it into Seller Central, add a product, and boom, new condition, list yours. Now you'll notice this is also a pretty solid product. 85,000, 86,000 roughly in its category. If we list this, it looks like the list price is about $39.95 and there are no current offers. So if we went into, let's check the product detail page out first, so see what it sells for. There's no offer. So in this typical situation, and this is all stuff that I go over in my new version of Online Arbitrage Pro, guys, Online Arbitrage Pro 2.0, with not just coupon arbitrage, not just liquidation arbitrage like we're talking about here, not just cashback arbitrage like the last video that I did. I'll make sure to drop that as a card up in the right hand corner. I'll also link that video down in the description below if you want to learn how you can get free items. Obviously these are very, very cheap and there's a high profit margin here and you're buying them in bulk, so it's a gold mine as well. Cashback arbitrage is great as well. There are a number of other business models. There's about 20 hours of lectures in that actual course detailing how you can buy low, resell online, like everything I'm showing you right here. This is just the tip of the iceberg. If you guys want to get into that course, it recently launched this week. For a limited time, 50% off, a link in the description. That is the first link in the description. I'm opening it up to people, so it's 50% off right now. But as more and more people get into the course, that sale will dissipate. So right here, you'll notice that this is an issue that you might find if you're listing liquidation pallets. All right, nobody's currently listing this, so what do I sell it as, right? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to take the URL, you're going to take it into camel.com to see its price history and see what it usually sells for. Because clearly whoever was selling this, sold out of their last unit recently and hasn't stocked it yet, hasn't restocked yet. So what it usually sells for is, it looks like it's been roughly since about November, it's been about $16.88. This is a weird one because usually it's like up and down. You'll see like different price discrepancies, but it looks like this hasn't changed too much. So what I would do is I'd probably list this underneath that. I'd probably go like $15.99. List it, see how, oh, that's the quantity, Brian, what are you doing? $15.99, see, if that sells, and if not, and if it does, then obviously great for me. If it doesn't, maybe I mark it down a little bit more to prompt a sale. And if it doesn't sell over like a 2-week span, totally fine. I'll just pull it out and I'd sell it on Mercari, Poshmark, or eBay. Obviously, I can't sell on eBay because I'm currently suspended, but that is not you. So that's the ease of liquidation arbitrage. When you get these products, they come with an Excel file that you can literally search the product, find everything that you need to know about that said product, what it usually lists for, and then obviously what you got it for, how many units are actually in the boxes, so on and so forth. So that's the ease of listing. Now let's talk about what I actually sold. Now, in I think 2 videos recently, I talked about a liquidation pallet that I bought. It was 190 units and it was $196 to my door for a rough estimate of about $1.03 per unit. It's not a rough estimate, that's actually it's $1.03 per unit. I literally calculated it. So I haven't listed all 190 units yet because I've been pretty busy. I've been launching the Online Arbitrage Pro version 2 of the course. I've been, kind of growing the Facebook group that goes along with that, the private Facebook group. I've been doing a number of things on the back end, for my business. So I haven't had time to actually go through and list 190 units. It's probably been about a week and a half, and I would say I probably listed about maybe 90 to 100 of those units. 55 of them have sold in about a week and a half, and I'm already netted a profit with about 135 units left to sell. So let's run through all the numbers here so you can see how profitable this is, how fast I got my money back, and how much more I can expect to make, and then obviously how you can replicate it. So I sold, like I said, 55 units so far. 38 of those, and I literally just went through this about an hour and a half to try literally tally up all these numbers for you guys. So I hope you appreciate it. Give this video a like if you appreciate all the time I spent adding all these numbers up for you. So 38 of them sold on Amazon in this past week and a half for a total profit margin of $278.11, or roughly $7.31 per unit. Now, 5 of them sold on Poshmark, and especially now with Poshmark, they actually recently launched the new home goods section. So it's not just like clothing, it's not just clothing and accessories. Now you can list a number of these other things like in the home goods section. So for example, that sprout garden, you can list that in home goods. That thermos, you can list that in home goods, because obviously it's like kitchenware or anything like that. A number of things you can list on Poshmark now, so that is a freaking gold mine. Very, very excited about it, and I know they have a plan to expand their categories going forward. Also, 5 of them sold on Poshmark for a $23 profit margin, or $4.60 per unit roughly. And then 12 sold on Mercari as well for a total profit margin of $48 even, $4 per unit roughly. Now, keep in mind too that I'm taking offers on a lot of these. So on Amazon, not only am I listing them lower a little bit to get the buy box and sell them faster, but on Poshmark and Mercari, I'm also taking offers. I'm also promoting them. So I'm selling them a lot lower most of the time than I potentially can. So I could probably double my money if I was willing to wait a month or two, but obviously I want to flip it fast. I want the money fast. So that's my particular strategy here. You can obviously be more patient if you want to, or you can do it my way. It's up to you. So these numbers are a little bit lower. Just keep that in mind, because I'm taking offers and I'm also listing a little bit lower to steal the buy box initially from whoever has it and then sell my unit faster. So grand total of that's about $349.11 profit margin when you add all that up. Now, if you take out the fact that I spent $196 to get the pallet to my door, that means so far I've made a profit of about $153.11 total profit, with 135 units still left to sell. Now, keep in mind too, I have not listed all 190 units. Like I said, I probably listed like 90 to 100, so I still have about half more of the pallet to list. Now, if you guys are doing this full time, and obviously I do this full time, but I also do like content, and I also have been working a lot on the back end of my Online Arbitrage Pro course and stuff like that. So if you guys are doing this specifically and you're trying to scale up, there's no reason you can't list 190 units in a day if you really want to, or like 2 to 3 days. Now, it's been a week and a half. I've only listed about half of them, but I am very busy and I haven't got around to it. But obviously, it's still working very, very well for me. So still 135 units left to sell, but total profit margin so far, like I said, of 153.11. And if I sell the remaining units of 135 units, at even a conservative estimate of $4 profit margin, that still means I would net $540 off those 135 units. And then if you add that to the 153, that means the total profit off this pallet in about maybe 2 to 3 weeks is $693.11. So that means I turned $196 into $693.11 in about 3 weeks from one liquidation pallet, just one. Now, if I sell those, if that's a very conservative estimate at $4 profit margin, if I sell those at $7 profit margin, which is roughly what they've been selling at on Amazon, if I sell a majority of them at $7, then I would net $945 with a total profit margin of $1,098.11. If you obviously add that to the 153. So 945 plus 153 is $1,098.11. So keep in mind, like I said, I am taking offers too, like I said before, and I'm also listing slightly lower on the buy box. I'm not sharing the buy box. I'm not trying to wait on my products. I'm trying to flip them fast. But this is the profit potential of a liquidation pallet, guys. I don't know why people don't do this. People are sleeping on liquidation arbitrage. I highly, highly, highly implore you to get out there and test it. You don't have to spend $196 on your first unit. You can buy individual products from liquidation companies. You can also buy cheaper pallets for like $50 and just get your start there. Now, obviously, the more units you buy, typically speaking, the lower per unit cost you're going to get right here. But that's not always, the case. That's just general rule of thumb. So I would challenge you to buy one, see how well it works for you, and that will inspire you to keep doing it and keep flipping your money and keep multiplying it for more.